Hello everyone, it's Constance. Today I'm touching on a very sensitive subject for many people, and I just really want to talk about the first instance that I encountered racism. And this is a discussion that my husband and I had earlier today, and I wanted to get his story as far as his first experience dealing with racism and share mine. So here I am. I'm gonna share my first encounter with somebody being racist. And it goes back to when I was in the third grade, 19... Oh, people are mowing, or our lawn people are mowing. Um, it goes back to third grade, which was 1982, 1983, somewhere in that vicinity. Yes, I'm that old. And I had a very small group of friends. This is ridiculous. Sorry. Oh. They literally just mowed 3 days ago. This is just uncalled for. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk about this. So, so back in the third grade, I had a very small group of friends, and most of them were females. And there was one friend who was male, and his name was Nathaniel. I won't reveal his last name. Thank you. One of my friends at the time, I lived in a very small town in lower Michigan, southwest Michigan. The town is Constance, and we had one person who was black, and she was in my grade, and she was one of my friends. And I didn't think anything of it. I literally did not think anything of it. The fact that the color of her skin was different than mine didn't even register with me at all. There was never anything said to me about it. There was never anything that was brought to my attention that she was a minority. And I treated her just the same as I did anyone else. And I didn't know any different. And all of a sudden, my friend at the time, Nathaniel, decided that he was going to call her the N-word. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't realize it was a slur, that it was something negative. And Jennifer started just crying. And I didn't know why. I didn't know why. But I felt for her. And I didn't know that I should be upset with Nathaniel for saying that, because I didn't know what that word meant. I was in the 3rd grade. We hadn't been taught about civil rights at that point. I clearly recall that memory. It's not very often that I recall memories from my childhood like that, but I do with this moment. Jennifer, wherever you are to this day, please know that I love and appreciate you all these many years later. I have no idea how to look you up, so so maybe if you stumble upon this, which I doubt you will, just know that I stand with you. Okay. I was never taught to be racist. There was nowhere in the realm of my upbringing that I was told that black people were bad. There was a time when I was at my grandmother's house and I was playing with some action figures, and she had a dollhouse that was the perfect size for action figures at the time. And I had a male action figure that was black, and there's this one female action figure that was white, and I coupled them without even thinking, without even knowing that it could be a problem. And they were just a couple, and they were in love, and that's where I was in my little kid head. And while I was in the process of playing with that couple, my grandmother was watching something on television, and she just happened to spout out, "That's disgusting because he's black." And I'm sitting here looking at my action figures, suddenly realizing what she said is relating to what I was doing. My grandmother was not overtly racist. She said her piece, usually in private. And that was that. She never said anything publicly in a racist tone. That doesn't excuse it, mind you. I'm not making excuses for her. Why are they just sitting outside my window right now? Oh. But yeah, that made me sit back and think a little bit, because I had these two action figures of a mixed race that were in love with each other, and that's all that mattered. And then all of a sudden my grandmother spouts out that she was against a mixed race couple on television. And I was doing my own thing, and she was just watching a show, and she just opened up her mouth, and out came this horrid comment. Yet I still didn't really get it at that point that racism was a thing. And years later, we moved up a little bit north, eventually to Kalamazoo, Michigan. And my mom had eventually married my stepfather, and there was a choice because of where we lived if I was going to be able to go to Parchment schools or Kalamazoo Central. And they decided on Parchment. And the process took a long time for us to get into our house there. Oh, gee. It's like they're parked outside my window. I'm lost on where I was. Okay, so where we lived, the school that my mom and stepdad chose for me was Parchment. And go Panthers, by the way, because eventually I graduated from there. Um, my stepdad took me to my first day of school, which was in the middle of the first semester because of the delay of moving into the house and whatnot. So I didn't get to start right at the beginning of the school year there. Um, and he said to me, don't let the black people give you drugs. And at the time, I was like, oh, sure. Oh, yeah, okay. Um, I didn't know what a harmful statement that was at the time. Um, insane, isn't it? I mean, it's just insane. And through that last year of middle school and all through high school in that district, I encountered many people of color. And I've never, not once, had any qualms with them or felt odd around them. I thought they were just like me. I had never been judgmental or thought of anyone different than myself as being someone less than myself. And yes, growing up, graduating high school, I've learned a lot about the black experience since then. Many things that I was very naive about, or oblivious, or just uneducated. And I still learn to this day. And I really want to say that the brothers and sisters in the black community are very welcome in my heart. And I'm learning and educating myself constantly, even though I think that I'm very progressive when it comes to civil rights in that movement. But there's still so much that I can learn and educate myself about. And that will never stop. And I will never stop learning and educating myself about that because it's so frickin' important. It's so freaking important. And yes, I'm a proud ally. I'm a proud supporter. I champion any person of color that strives, who, frankly, any person of color that is living. Um, there are so many travesties that this community faces, and it's deplorable. And I certainly don't want to be lumped in with a group that does those sort of things. And long before I myself became a part of a marginalized community, I felt this way. I never understood racism. Never. It makes me sad. It makes me really sad that so many people of the majority of this country still feel hatred toward black people. So I just wanted to get this off my chest because it came up, and my husband and I talked about it this morning. I wanted to share my thoughts, my feelings, and if anyone out there thinks that I'm wrong or my opinions are icky, feel free to debate with me on friendly terms. I'm open to discussion. Because if there's any way that somebody can say something that can challenge my thoughts and feelings about this subject, I'm open for discussion. I'm open for debate as long as it's civil, and I welcome it because it could be a further learning experience for me. And I am so open to that. So with all that being said, I'm gonna conclude this video. I'm not gonna plug this. Yes, hit like, subscribe, and whatnot, and leave comments, but I'm not gonna ask you to check out the links in the description that would help the channel grow. No. So, please, if anything, just be kind. kind. Be understanding. Be respectful. I'm doing my damnedest to maintain that in my life. And I know that I can grow even more. So maybe help me with that. Love and light to you all.